today we are in Flam in Norway on the next part of my cruise series that I'm doing. So yeah, we are in Flam today, or Flam Bay as the captain called it, which I really enjoyed. I thought that was very funny. Neil saw it coming, but I didn't, and it really tickled me.
Without bits and swearing, this Disney fan is caring, admiring her tats while she plays with all her cats. Her disability gives her superpower, agility to holiday and live the right way.
So yeah, we were in Flam today. The the sailing was really nice. It was, I thought, really beautiful. Clearly not as beautiful as Olden, because when I was out there watching us come in, nobody else was. So I don't know why. I think this is equally as beautiful as Olden, especially sort of coming in this morning when you could see everything coming towards you. It was lovely. So our plan for today is we're doing the Flam Fjord sauna, which we can see from our cabin. I was just watching some people fanning around being too wussy to get in the water properly. Not that I'm intending to get in the water, I am a wuss. But we've got that planned for later. That was an excursion we booked through P&O. We're very much looking forward to that. We haven't got anything else planned for Flam at the moment. There is sort of a walk back from the sauna. The boat is parked on the opposite side from the sauna, so there's got like a walk. I think they provided us with a map. It is a 750 metre or 15-minute walk each way to the sauna, and it looks like there's a little bakery and a co-op and stuff on the way back, so we're going to check those out and just see if there's anything else we want to do. We haven't got any other excursions booked, but like yesterday in Olden, we booked an impromptu excursion. We went on an impromptu excursion when we were there, so we'll see. There might be something to do. We haven't decided yet. So this morning we booked into Aqua, which is one of the main dining rooms, for breakfast. We had to book at 7:30 because when I booked it yesterday, that was the only time it would let me book. That's one. So Aqua's one of the main dining rooms. It is included in your cruise package price. So once you get there, everything that you eat, you don't pay any extra for at breakfast time. So when we got there and explained that I was gluten-free, they asked me if I'd pre-booked the night before, which I hadn't because we didn't know that we had to. And they didn't mention it at the dietary requirements talk that we did on the first day. They only talked about how you had to pre-book for evening meals. And when we were in the main dining room the other night having an evening meal, he asked me if I wanted to pre-book for the next night, but not the next morning, so it wasn't something we knew that we needed to do. It was fine, and they said that they could accommodate me, but that it would take longer, but it didn't take as long as we thought it was going to, so it was fine. I was offered gluten-free toast, which was fine. It's the Shah bread that I have at home, and it's the same bread that's in the buffet. It is not the same bread that they have in the Epicurean though. That was very nice bread. It was a bit cold because generally with gluten-free bread they defrost it in the toaster, which is fine. And I don't know if I'd have pre-booked a breakfast if it would already have been defrosted, so it wouldn't have been as cold as it was, but it was fine. It's gluten-free bread. It's never. Then I had eggs Benedict on gluten-free toast, which again was nice. I like eggs Benedict. That was nice. Neil had smashed avocado on toast and poached eggs on toast. We assumed the poached egg would come on top of the smashed avocado, but it didn't. He got two separate lots of toast. It was a lot of toast. He had a lot of toast for breakfast.
Didn't eat it all.
He didn't eat all the toast. But you get like butter and jam and marmalade and stuff on the table, and then they offer you tea and coffee, which they come and refill if you want it, and then they offer you juice, and then there's a choice of different Englishy breakfasts like sausage and bacon and poached eggs, scrambled eggs. You can basically sort of make your own breakfast sort of thing. And then they had a continental option, which was like cereals and fruit, and then healthier options, which I think there were pancakes, and the smashed avocado was one of those healthier options as well. But it was all right. It was better than the experience in the main dining room for dinner, but it's still a bit like a hotel breakfast, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not quite for me. But the breakfast was all right. It was nice. It was quiet. I wasn't too busy. Everything came really quickly. We had a nice view out of the windows today, and I do think that Aqua is the smallest. I think Aqua is the smallest of the main dining rooms, and I think it's a little bit nicer than the huge, great big ones. So that is it. Like I said, we have nothing planned except for the sauna this morning, which we're going to go and do in just over an hour. So we'll take you along for that, and then we'll see what we're doing with the rest of the day.
I won't get you in there.
Oh, well done.
Oh, ready? This can't be good for your heart. It's meant to be good for your heart. Is it?
Yeah.
Come on, you got this.
How'd you feel?
Let's go for it.
How'd you feel?
Just push her backwards.
I feel my feet.
Just push her
Shit. You're in my burial.
all the way in, come on.
I can't.
So, as I said, the boat was just a 15-minute walk away from the sauna, and whilst you were in the sauna, you had an amazing view of the boat, which was really cool. It was nice to see. The scenery here is just so beautiful. It's really stunning. And then I thought I would just zoom in and show you where our room was. So we're in this sort of inside gappy bit. A lot of people talk about how beautiful Olden is, but I genuinely thought Flåm was just even more beautiful. It's just stunning. I think it's really underrated and people don't talk about it enough. So after the sauna, we headed into the co-op marketplace, with just this huge building full of tourist hat, magnets, coats, hoodies, jumpers, trolls, fantastic stuff. We then found like a street food market kind of place which had loads of different stalls, and the majority of them did have their allergens on the menus, which I thought was great. There was so much to choose from here. In the end, we decided to go for loaded fries from this little kiosk. And yeah, it was really good to see the allergens and everything, and it was all expensive. And then this is what we got, the loaded fries. It was really nice. It was tasty. The portion was not the greatest size considering how much it cost, but just look at that scenery to be surrounded by. So one of the things Neil really wanted to do was have a proper Norwegian pastry, and we did find this very popular, very busy bakery. There wasn't a huge amount left because it was like lunchtime, and I think they were baking as they went, so more did appear, but Neil really wanted to try a pastry. So I went and bagged us a seat outside. As you can see, it is so close to the boat, this port, and then I watched the birds for a little bit whilst I waited for Neil to get back with his pastry. I've got some really good bird footage, mate. And I saw a dog. He even managed to find me a gluten-free cookie, and there's another look at how close we are to the boat. We then found there's a very cool brew pub. It sort of had this huge, great big outside space with fire pits and fire, and it was covered. And there is a big hotel there. You can see a lot of people talk about that hotel. I think it's very nice. And then this is this sort of bar pub area. It serves craft brew that it's just an amazing space. It's so cool in here. It was sort of raining by this time, so we were getting a little bit damp, but it wasn't chucking it down. It was sort of, it was manageable. So we did decide to pop into the pub and just have a little look around, and I'm very glad we did. It was crazy busy though. They did have an upstairs restaurant space, but you had to book to go up there. But it's got this like sunken fire pit area, which was just really cool. And then these are all the beers that are on offer. Neil was absolutely in his element. So yeah, these are the beers that you could pick from, and they did flights and just all sorts. Yeah, so cool. And they brew their beer on site. What are you drinking?
It is a porter.
Is it nice?
It's nice. It's good. It tastes like a bit of coffee flavour, quite roasted flavour. It's good. Cheers.
It was starting to get pretty damp by this point, so we did decide to sort of start heading back towards the ship. The ship is right next to the pub, so if all you wanted to do in Flåm was get off and have a drink, you absolutely could. I then spotted a park, and more importantly, I spotted swings. I love a swing. It is my mission to go on as many swings as possible as I can in many different places. Here I am, having a whale of a time on a swing.
This is Estelle in her natural habitat on the beach, searching for stones. I bet she's going to try and cross that little river. Bet she does. She's got one. Has she got it? And she reaches for it, yes. She has got it. Is that sufficient? Will she look to see if there is a better option? She's searching. What does she find? And oh, is that one better? It is an alternative. I think she's got two. And one's gone. She has thrown one. She has tossed it aside. And there is more searching. What will come of it? Will there be an alternative? And here it is. Oh, some people are on the pitch. Hey, let's see it. Let's see it. Ooh.
After I admired the goats for some time, I did have to be dragged away by Neil. He pointed out it was raining quite heavily by this point. So we headed back over this very pretty little river that goes out into the fjord. There's a waterfall, number of waterfalls at the other end. It's just so beautiful. Just look at this scenery. I would love to come back here and just sort of have another little look on that side of the bridge when it was just so nice. That little beachy area was lovely. And then we headed back onto the boat to just get a better look at the surrounding area and how beautiful it looked. And that you could have just seen there in the background was the Flåm railway, which people rave about. And yeah, as you can see, it is pretty wet at this point. It's just, but it's beautiful. Look how beautiful it is. I genuinely think Flåm is more beautiful than Oldham. Flåm is one of my favourite places in the world. I loved it. This is now the boat moving away from Flåm. Yeah, it's stunning, isn't it? You might have noticed there something popped into the camera. I was trying to be clever and a seagull attacked me. So yeah, this is us heading out of Flåm now. And then we headed up to the little Costa in the atrium. I had another one of those amazing Black Forest cakes, and Neil had this little cake here. We did the little crossword of the day, and then we went back to the room where I washed and dried my hair because I'd gotten pretty wet during the day. The hairdryer, this is the one that comes in the room. It's fine. It's one of those that you have to hold the button down the entire time, but it dried my hair, which is mad thick and takes a very long time to dry. It dried my hair pretty quick.
So I was just nearly killed. I just nearly died. I would like to point out that
whilst I just nearly died and had my near-death experience, Neil didn't move from the bed where he is lay. So thanks for that. I appreciate that you did not even slightly try to save me when I just nearly died from a seagull. They're not seagulls. They're not proper seagulls. So what are they?
I don't know.
They're like not seagulls. They're these tiny seagulls that look like seagulls but aren't seagulls. Anyway, I was trying to be clever and pop this tiny alpaca into Neil's time-lapse video of us leaving Flam, and whilst trying to put this very small but incredibly expensive alpaca made from real alpaca fur, baby alpaca fur, but don't worry, they don't kill them, they just shear them, so it's fine, hopefully. Don't come for me. So yeah, a seagull just tried to steal this adorable tiny cute alpaca from my hand on this balcony. It was a harrowing experience, but fortunately I have lived to tell the tale. So it's now 10:15 in the evening, which you absolutely can't tell because even though it's quite gloomy because it's wet, it is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon out there. It is quite surreal and you don't really feel tired until you close the curtains and can't see it anymore. But yeah, we have had a very nice day today. We were in Flam today. We left there, I thought quite late, about 6ish. No, it's later than that.
It's later than 6.
About 6:30.
Maybe about 6:15.
Yeah, we left Flam about 6:15. According to the captain, who I guess I trust, we will come out of this part of the fjord at midnight, and then we'll be in Stavanger tomorrow, and I think 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock we get off, I think. I think he said about 8:30.
Oh, is that like a bridge over there?
Yeah, there's a road there.
Oh, cool. And so we arrive in Stavanger at about 9 o'clock tomorrow, so we can get off and do what we want. We haven't got anything at all planned for Stavanger. We're just going to walk around. It's the one place sort of like with a proper town city, I guess. So we're going to go and have a look around. We are taking the wheelchair tomorrow because I think it would just make it a little bit easier, but we'll see. So yeah, we've had a very nice day today. The sauna was a lot of fun. Did you enjoy the sauna?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Neil jumped in the water a lot of times. I did not. But it was really fun, and the view from the sauna is beautiful. And I know that like in Flam, the most popular thing to do is the train or like the hikes and stuff. But I would highly recommend going and having a look at the sauna because it was a lot of fun. It was quite a unique experience. And you get to swim in the fjord, which I don't know if you really, unless you sort of go off and do that by yourself, I don't know that you really get the opportunity to swim in the fjord. So yeah, I think that would be it's a really good excursion to do. After that, we just looked around all the little markets. There was a street food market, which was really cool. There were a couple of like souvenir tat shops, which are really cool. I bought some souvenir tat, very expensive souvenir tat. We went in the Flam bakery, which was actually very confusing because there were like 2 queues for 1 queue. It was very odd. So Neil basically jumped the queue by about 20 people, which I enjoyed thoroughly. Did you enjoy your pastry?
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was a cinnamon bun. Yeah, cinnamon bun. He enjoyed that. I was able to have a gluten-free cookie, which was nice. Wasn't nice, it was alright. It was a gluten-free cookie. But the fact that there was a choice was really good because I had read a lot about how there weren't many gluten-free choices in port, but so far it's been alright. And then we went to Sindhu for dinner, which was actually very nice. Very much enjoyed Sindhu. We've seen a lot of people go there and
came highly recommended.
Yeah, it came highly recommended from the Broadways. So yeah, really enjoyed Sindhu. It was a really lovely meal. Again, they were able to cater for gluten-free, but they did ask me again if I'd pre-ordered my meal, which we hadn't, because on the first day when we went to the dietary talk, the lady told me that I only had to pre-book my dinners at the main dining rooms. And as far as I'm concerned, Sindhu is not one of those, and she did not tell me that I had to pre-book, which is fine. It was fine. Both of the options that I had were gluten-free anyway. It's not sort of any extra effort to make them gluten-free, but I don't know, maybe they need to at the start tell you how the gluten-free thing works better. But it was fine. The meal was really good. Both really enjoyed the meal. The parfait is nice.
Sauce and a jelly.
not sure. I had a very nice Cosmopolitan. Neil had a very nice wine. And then that was it. We just nipped back up to the duty-free shops to get some aftershave for Neil. And now we're back in the room and we're going to go to bed shortly. So this is the end of our day in Flam. I never think I'm saying that right.
You know.
Huh?
Flåm.
Flåm. Flåm. Are you just being mean? Is it actually Flåm?
Flåm Bay.
Flåm Bay.
Bay, the Bay of Flåm.
Yeah, okay. So it is Flåm and not Flam. Yeah. My Duolingo is not going well. Oh, I saw goats today, so holiday mode. And so yeah, that is it from me for today. I'll be back. I did happen to be awake at 20 to 4 in the morning, so I thought I would show you what the sky looks like in Norway during the midnight sun. How cool is that? 20 to 4 in the morning. It did start to rain sort of just after we arrived in Stavanger, but it cleared up pretty quick. We headed to the Quays again for breakfast. I had some more incredibly disappointing gluten-free pancakes. If you are gluten-free and don't hate yourself, I really wouldn't bother with the pancakes. Neil had a full English this morning, also from the Quays, which he said was nice. And then I thought I would show you a little look at how I got off the boat in a wheelchair. So we headed down to our exit level. And then here is Neil pushing me through where we show our cruise cards. Now, Neil is not allowed to push me down the gangway himself, so the stewards take over. I think this is just for health and safety reasons. The gangway is pretty steep, and there are accessible gangways because of the steepness of them. Apologies for my fingers in the way of the camera there. I really didn't want to sort of get this guy's face, so I was trying to hold it in a weird way. There's Neil just coming down after me, and there we are, off the boat. It was a very smooth and seamless process. And then we headed off the boat and into Stavanger. It isn't as close as people make out, the actual sort of bit where the shops and stuff are, and I've never ever heard anyone mention how steep and hilly and cobbly everywhere is. It's really not wheelchair friendly, and this entire excursion, well, not excursion, we didn't pay for it, it was just me and Neil in the wheelchair, but the entire thing was just a little bit uncomfortable and fairly unpleasant due to the nature of Norway and how it was built and what this town being so old. A lot of the shops are very narrow, there's not a lot of space, and there's me just pointing to the very famous picture on the wall that everyone seems to have their photo taken with in Stavanger. Anyway, like I was saying, it's not very wheelchair friendly, which I absolutely understand. It's the way it was built. It was a bit of a nightmare, and nobody really prepared me for that. I also really enjoyed that you can just drink water straight from the fjord. I think that's such a cool touch. Really like that. There's one of the rib boats going out. That's an excursion we really wanted to do, but because we booked our cruise quite last minute, it was sold out. I especially enjoyed these benches for small people and also very tall people. No idea what that was about. Like I said, Duolingo not going well for me, but they were cute. And then I also really enjoyed this shrimp on a stick because we have one of those in Plymouth and I call it the shrimp on a stick. Now this seagull looks like a regular scabby one. Yeah, get out of it. Sure what he's doing to the goat, but there we go. The shops and everything in Stavanger are just so beautiful. It's just really quirky, But like I said, it's so hilly, it's so cobbly, it wasn't pleasant. The shop doorways are really narrow. It was all just a bit of a nightmare for a wheelchair user. I get it, they're not going to fix up these shops for, you know, that have been here for hundreds and hundreds of years. Just be aware of how sort of inaccessible some parts of Norway are going to be. There's a lot of very cool street art around. I loved it. There was, in fact, an excursion you could pay for. It was called like a selfie tour or something like that, and you basically went around all the sort of local street art places in Stavanger to take a selfie with them, which I thought was such a waste of money because they're everywhere and you don't need to pay to do that. I mean, each to their own, but just even the rainbow floor is great. It's such a fun and quirky little place. I love it. A lot of fun. We then found a bakery which Neil said had the most amazing looking sandwiches and cakes and things. Nothing for me, sadly. But I did get to see a dog, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. And yes, both those pastries were for Neil. He pretended to forget I was gluten-free momentarily. And then I saw another 2 dogs, so day made, quite frankly. How cute are these dogs? Or hund in Norwegian. By this point, after a couple of hours, Neil was really starting to regret having skipped arm day after having shoved me up many hills in Stavanger town centre. We decided to head back towards the boat and get some lunch. We found this fabulous but incredibly expensive little fish restaurant. It was serving Lervik. The Lervik brewery is actually in Stavanger. You can physically go and visit it. It was a little bit far for us, but he did get to have some in this restaurant at least. And the Coke, where they called him Pookie, which I really enjoyed. I had mussels, which are amazing, and Neil had this stunning Norwegian open sandwich, which was also on his bucket list. We then headed back onto the ship. Here's a little look from the boat at the Old Town part of Stavanger, so Stavanger Old Town. You can absolutely walk around that. We chose not to because I think it's a little bit weird that you're basically taking pictures in people's windows. It's personal choice. It is very beautiful though. And headed to the atrium to sit and listen to the Stavanger Gospel Choir, who get on every time they're in Stavanger and sing.
There's a time to weep and a time to laugh.
As we left Stavanger, we got changed for dinner and headed up to the Crow's Nest for a drink before our Norwegian tasting menu at the Epicurean. The Crow's Nest is really nice, but the one place on the boat that makes me feel really queasy. An amazing dinner. We went to the Emerald Bar to have some more cocktails. I really wanted to take that flamingo home with me. It was so much fun. It was a really nice cocktail as well. Really enjoyed it. And look at it. Isn't it a flamingo? It's amazing. So it is the end of Norway, basically. We have now completely left Norway. I assume, are we in the North Sea?
Yeah, I guess so.
We're in the North Sea now. The sun is setting for the first time in a week, which is nice.
Reassuring.
Yeah, which is reassuring to know that nighttime still exists somewhere. We've had a really nice night. We did the Norwegian Tasting Menu at the Epicurean, and if you are on the Norwegian Fjords cruise and you get the opportunity to do the Norwegian Tasting Menu, I would highly recommend it. It was really good. It was £40 a person, but because I booked Neil the birthday package, we got a voucher for a free meal. So actually we've just saved 80 quid with the voucher, so basically it was free, and that was really good. Was it 7 courses?
Yeah, including the petit four.
It was 7 courses including petit four. petit four, tiny fudge.
Are you drunk?
Yes, I am drunk. I'm not drunk. I'm merry. I'm tipsy. Yeah, the petit fours are like tiny fudges, which are supposed to be salted caramel and mushroom, which I was quite excited about, but they just mostly tasted of fudge. It was very nice fudge, to be fair, but I didn't really get mushroom from it. Anyway, really, really lovely meal. So if you get the opportunity to do it, I would definitely recommend it. We then dropped a criminal amount of money on some photos. We had a photo shoot the other night when we left Oldham, and the guy definitely went for the hard sell. He talked about being distinguished from the earth.
Did he?
Briefly at one point. Did you hear that? He said one day he would be distinguished from the earth.
No,
but
extinguished.
Extinguished.
Meaning when he was dead. His work would live on even when he was dead.
He didn't say distinguished. He said, fucking hell.
Take a lot of time to edit.
He didn't say distinguished, he said extinguished. So when he died, his photos would live on. So then we had to buy his photos in case he's, I don't know, maybe he was telling us he was terminal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, the photos, to be fair, were
Have you
really...
pressed record?
Yes. I have pressed record for once. I remembered to push record. Oh my god, I can't breathe. My shorts are too tight. I can't breathe. Anyway, this is chaos. The photo shoot was a lot of fun, and all of the photos were really, really nice. To be fair, the man knows what he is doing. But it was crazy expensive, and he talked me round, and then I talked Neil round, so you know. But yes, we dropped a criminal amount of money on photographs, and then we had a cocktail, which I think was the mistake here. The cocktail. And then
Which one?
But we have had a really nice day. Stavanger was really lovely. There is a lot of walking. We used my wheelchair for the first time today, and Neil unfortunately did have to push me around, so he has had a full arms and legs workout today, which I'm obviously very grateful for. But it's very hilly, it's very cobbly. It's not pleasant in the wheelchair because it is basically cobbles everywhere. I get it, it's, you know, it is what it is, but just be warned if you're coming here, it's not the most accessible of places, and the shops aren't particularly accessible, which again, I get, it's an old country, it's old buildings. Of course they're not accessible, but they weren't that easy to get into in the wheelchair. But that said, we had a great time in Stavanger. We had lunch out in the town at like a fish restaurant, and that was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Neil had like this huge Norwegian open sandwich thing, which was absolutely covered in shrimp. It said shrimp, but they were prawns.
Okay.
Are shrimp and prawns the same thing? There we go. And I had mussels, which were really nice. And then we watched Sail Away from the balcony because it was the first time it was properly hot and sunny, and that was really nice. And then we've just sat in the atrium for the last, I guess, 2 hours, I don't know, couple of hours. We sat in the atrium, and that was really nice, but it was the busiest it has been. I don't know what it is about that sort of your last night in Norway that everyone comes out, but it was really busy tonight. It was fun and it was fine, and we found somewhere to sit eventually, but this was the first time that I felt this cruise was busy. But yeah, we've had a really good day, and that is the end of this video. We'll be back tomorrow, so in next week's vlog there are lots of fun things for our sea day. So Neil has a very cool gin blending masterclass, so he basically gets to sample some different... Do you sample the gin, or you sample the flavours that go in gin?
I don't know how it works, but the flavours.
So basically
botanicals.
We don't exactly know how, but he samples like the flavours, so the botanicals of the gins, and then he picks his favourite, and then he gets to blend his own gin, and then he gets to come away with like a personalised bottle. It was quite expensive, it was 80 quid, but you get your own bottle of gin, you get 2 big glasses of gin, and you get to do the whole experience. And actually it's comparable to how much it costs in the duty-free shop. So, and it's going to be a really good experience for him because he is learning about... What are you doing? What's it called? what's your education thing called?
Spirits, like his spirits.
So he's been doing like a spirits course and exams and things so he can become an expert in these things. So it's going to be a really good experience for him. And then after that,
What is wrong with you? What's wrong?
I didn't touch
Did you
it.
drunkenness
I
do
didn't
that?
touch it. Apparently my phone is also drunk. So after that, we have got an afternoon tea at the Epicurean planned. We booked that before we got on board, and then the other night when we had dinner in Epicurean, we went and talked to them and just let them know that I was gluten-free, and they're able to provide a gluten-free meal for me tomorrow as well. A gluten-free afternoon tea for me. And then Neil will just get like the regular one. I don't know if he'll get like one for 2 people or a smaller one. I don't know. But they're able to accommodate me for gluten-free for the afternoon tea. Really looking forward to that. And then in the evening, we are going to the 710 Club to watch like a 90s show. We haven't been in the 710 Club yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. And we're also going to pick up all of our very expensive photos tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. We have ordered, I think, 39 prints plus 5 from the formal, no, 7 from the formal night, so I'm very excited to see all those. So that's what we've got planned for next week's video, and there'll also be disembarkation as well, so look out for that coming soon. And that is it from my video for today. So it is good night. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video.